just give us a count when you're ready to go. Chairman of the Wolfeboro Police Commission, I am declaring that emergency exists, and I am invoking the provisions of RSA 91-A:2, paragraph 3, subparagraph B. Federal, state, and local officials that gatherings of 10 or more people pose a substantial risk to our community in continuing to combat the spread of COVID-19. I also find that this meeting is imperative to the continued operations of town government and service, which are vital to public safety and confidence emergency. As such, the meeting will be conducted without a quorum of this body physically present in this location. At this time, I also welcome members of the public accessing this meeting remotely. Even though this meeting is being conducted in a unique manner and under unusual circumstances, the usual rules of conduct and decorum apply. Any person found to be disrupting this meeting will be asked to cease the disruption. Should the disruptive behavior continue thereafter, that person will be removed from this meeting. Please note that all taken during this meeting shall be done by call vote. Roll call attendance. When each member states their name, please state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. Commissioner O'Brien?
Present, and I am the only one here.
Balboni?
Present, somebody else is here.
Nah, I am Commissioner Wood. I am alone in my home in my office. Chief Rondo?
I'm alone, and I'm in my study in my house.
Okay. Captain Libby?
I'm also alone. I'm in my office.
Okay. Dave? Selectman's representative?
Yeah, I'm here at my house. My wife is in the background sewing.
Okay. And no Sherry on audibly, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm at my office. I'm alone.
Okay, and Sherry Moore is our executive assistant. Okay, at this, Bob and Joe, I'm not sure if you've reviewed the minutes from last month or not. If not, we can postpone any action on those until our next meeting.
I have not reviewed.
Okay. I'll make a motion then, if somebody would like to second it, that we postpone entertaining the minutes of the meeting of July 16th until our next meeting in September.
I second the motion to delay.
Okay. We'll go by roll call vote. Commissioner Balboni?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien?
Yes.
And I am a yes also. So it is unanimous. Okay, at this time, Chief, I ask that you will proceed with your monthlies.
Very much, Mr. Chairman. So if you gentlemen refer to the first slide in your deck, the incident cases year to date, we are up 37.5% from June. Of course, the reporting month is July, as you know, from 40 to 55. Likewise, on the next slide in your slide deck, the arrest cases year to date have increased to 62.5% from 16 in June until 26 in July. So that's typical. We see these types of spikes every summer, and especially where I think our population densities have been increasing pretty steadily from about March on due to people trying to escape. Some of the population centers are coming up here. Things are happening, so we're a little bit more busy than we have been. On a good note, car crashes are down from 19 in June to 16 in July, and that's 15.78%. Traffic stops are down in July as well to 16.5%, from 127 to 106. And the reason for that is, I think, chiefly due to the fact that a lot of the officers have been tied up with incidents and arrests. So the patrol division is essentially the meat and potatoes of what we do in the Wolfeboro Police Department. And I think that what you're seeing here is reflective of when they're busy in one area, then areas don't get as much attention, and that's what you're seeing. And I'll address traffic later on in the chief's items. The next slide in your slide deck is detective's report, and I'll read all that for you. The 8 cases carried over from July for the month of 8 cases were carried over from June into July 2020. For the month of July, Detective Emerson investigated 4 new cases this past month. These cases represent all the reports and arrests for the month of July for the detective. Of the 4 new cases, 3 cases were investigated as felonies, and 1 case was investigated as a misdemeanor. At the end of July, Detective Emerson has a total of 12 cases that are still under investigation. That's actually quite a bit, gentlemen. Additionally, Detective Emerson worked with New Hampshire State Police Major Crimes Unit on a suspicious death case near the Pine Hill Road Cemetery. Investigation at this time. Detective Emerson was asked by the lieutenant of the Major Crimes Unit to assist with interviews regarding this case. Detective Emerson worked hand in hand with the New Hampshire State Police Major Crimes Unit for a week and a half after the initial finding of the deceased, gathering video surveillance footage of the area and doing follow-up regarding tips and evidence collection for the Major Crimes Unit. Detective Emerson also attended the autopsy for the deceased in this case, and all his reports have been submitted to Major Crimes. Gentlemen, I just want to say at this point, and I know this has been a topic of concern within the community, that even though we have what has been classified as a suspicious death by the Attorney General's office, I want to assure all of our residents, guests, and citizens within Wolfeboro and the greater Wolfeboro area that there is nothing to be alarmed about. We think we have a very good understanding of this case and what happened. We're working toward a successful conclusion with the major crimes. And right now, this case is really in the hands of the Attorney General's office. They're the ones they're the lead law enforcement agency for the state, and they're the ones in charge of the investigation. All of us essentially will be saluting the flagpole in that regard. They have the responsibility for investigating and for prosecuting this case. So with that being said, all I can say is that though we still need to be remain vigilant, which is something we all should be doing all the time, that this is essentially an isolated incident. And even though we live in a very bucolic area, Wolfeboro is beautiful, very peaceful, bad acts do happen, which is the reason why we have a police department. And so with that being said, I just want to let everybody know that they can rest comfortably that this case is being handled by the Attorney General's office, and we are assisting in that endeavor. So thank you very much.
Chief, if I may, I did find it irresponsible in the last press release from the Attorney General's office, only basically a half report. And unfortunately, the half that they gave left a lot of questions, as you can imagine, and as I'm sure you understand. That was very troubling. And equally as hearing stuff out in the community that is being purely speculated by people in the community. There are a couple of things there that have been brought to my attention. The first of which is that there was some missteps taken by our not remotely true. That's been looked into. There's no merit to any of those speculations. Everything was done correctly by personnel. Had it not been, we would have been questioned by the AG and Major. I want to put that out there. There is a lot circulating in the community in the absence of fact. Things are made up, and in this case, they're quite simply not true when it any mishandling, anybody within the agency, but just definitely clear that up. There are no more questions. I looked into that personally, the request of a couple of different. I'm all set.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Mr. Chairman. I too have heard some of those rumors. Do we have some background here?
Yeah.
Captain, do you know where that's coming from by any chance?
I don't. I do hear it though. It's not everyone. Sounds like a TV or something.
So she walks out the door and takes her computer with her.
Somebody talking in the background.
Yeah.
Edie, go in the other room. Please. That's probably my wife talking in the background on the other phone.
Thank you very
I'm not talking about the meeting.
As I was going to say, Mr. Chairman, I too have heard some of those disturbing rumors, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I can tell you that our folks definitely followed all the procedures and protocols that were in place. I couldn't be prouder of Staff Sergeant Maloney and Detective Emerson. They're both of those officers, both of those young officers are very by the book, very professional police officers. I think they did a great job. Sergeant Maloney, Staff Sergeant Maloney, is a very seasoned police officer, and he's investigated these types of cases before, as has Detective Emerson. My officers did everything that they were told to do by the medical examiner's office, and I think they did a fantastic job. Major Crimes is a very professional organization. They're very well led. I've known many of those officers for the last 10 or so years. I have full faith and confidence that they did everything correctly. And I'm very comfortable with the way the investigation is proceeding and moving. It's interesting when people don't know the information, when people don't know the full story, they manufacture things and they make things up to fill in the blanks, and that's unfortunate. That speaks to the need to do press releases and do them quickly. Unfortunately, not every agency, I think, feels the same way I do. In this particular case, my hands are tied relative to the release of information. This is really not my case. We're asked to help. Yes, it did happen in Wolfeboro, but as you know, Mr. Chairman, we don't have the jurisdiction in here, and the release of information rests with the jurisdiction who has the responsibility to investigate and prosecute the case. So all I can really say is what I've said relative to, but I think the Wolfeboro Police Department did everything correctly and did everything within its power to make sure the crime scene was secured and follow all the guidance by all the various state agencies that we needed to. So I'm very comfortable that everything here is preserved. I don't think anything compromises the case in any way, shape, or form. I will lastly say that I've investigated literally thousands of cases in my career as a law enforcement officer, not just here in Wolfeboro, but also in the military when I was a counterintelligence officer. I will be the first one to say that there is no case that's ever perfect. There is no case that's perfect, and they all have their challenges. They all have their nuances. That being said, I think that for the most part, we do it correctly in the Wolfeboro Police Department, and everything here, I'm perfectly comfortable with the way this investigation is moving. So that being said, gentlemen, subject to your questions, if you have none, I'll move right into the chief's items.
I just add to that, Chief. I think people need to be mindful too that when they are in the community and they are speculating and they're making rather strong inferences, that could attract the attention of Major Crimes or the Attorney General's office, and you can pay to visit because they may think you have information that you really don't have. So matters like this, it's best to not say anything if you don't know anything and let due course move along as it should.
I think that's absolutely spot on, sir.
I'm all set. If everybody else is free to proceed, Chief.
I think
I'm good.
I'll move on with the chief's items. Under the general budget items, our recent budget review as of 17 August showed that the PD was approximately 1.5% underspent, which is good news considering the tailspin that COVID-19 restrictions have placed upon the town. However, we are forecast to spend some of that down due to the fact that we have Officer Shanks now graduated from the police academy and shift coverage due to officer vacations. So I am forecasting a small unexpected appropriation in this year's budget. It will not be as great as it was last year and may only be a few $1,000s, if that. Personnel, as you know, Officer Shanks has graduated from the Hampshire Police Academy on 21 August. He is now a long 16 weeks in front of him as he enters our FTO, which is our Field Training Officer Program, and for what is likely to be another 16 weeks. And of course, we wish him good luck. And of course, he's doing well. He's in that now. He just started this week. So more training for Officer Shanks. And so I know what people out there are doing. They're doing the quick math in their head. Yeah, this is about 32 weeks of training before these officers are really out on their own. And that's actually a long time. And it can be quite daunting. Operations. Police investigations, July and August provided us the opportunity to get caught up on several investigations and has handed us some major cases. This is reflected in the arrest and incident status report. I know chiefly on everyone's mind is the suspicious death investigation presently being conducted by this agency in concert with the New Hampshire State Police Major Crimes Unit and the Hampshire Attorney General's Office. Though I'm not authorized to speak unilaterally on this investigation, since types of matters are by statute handled and investigated by the New Hampshire Attorney General's Office, I can say with all certainty that the Wolfeboro PD and the New Hampshire State Police have done yeoman's work on this case. And despite rumors to the contrary, everything is in order and the public is safe. In terms of police prosecutions this past month, we were slow due to COVID-19 precautions. This past month, we had 12 defendants respond to 12 charges. Of those charges, 9 were found or pled guilty, carried a 7-month sentence in the Carroll County House of Corrections. Additionally, were placed on file with good behavior, counseling, and restitution ordered to the victim. The conviction rate this month, 100%, with over $4,092 meted out in fines, restitution, and penalties. So, ladies and gentlemen, crime does not pay. Security matter. Summer is coming to a close, and as we get into the coming fall months, please be mindful of the school children and not trying to get back in the last few vestiges of warm weather. In early fall, we'll be heading back into our schools here shortly. Some have already started, so please be mindful of them as you are traveling about doing your chores and heading to and from work. Please be mindful and drive safely in town and in our neighborhoods. Thank you. Dispatch, we've opened the lobby and have access to the dispatch window now. We have taken and followed the states and the federal government CDC guidance in this regard, and we've placed a window microphone to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. This is a new addition to the dispatch lobby window. What that is essentially, gentlemen, a microphone, round microphone that's battery operated, and what it does is it amplifies the sound through that window. And so it's actually not what it used to be, which was simply a metal sieve, if you will, in the window, but it's actually a microphone. So there's a block there that helps keep our dispatchers safe from the transmission of any types of viruses or bacteria or anything that may try to come through. Under motor vehicle enforcement, in an effort to mitigate the traffic crashes we realize on a monthly basis, and we've seen increases past month, we will be continuing our strong proactive approach to motor vehicle enforcement and traffic stops. As a warning to those residents in the North Wolfeboro area, I have received complaints about speeders on College and Started roads. We will be conducting aggressive speed reduction patrols in those areas of town. So please, if you are in a habit of speeding up there, please don't. Lastly, we continue to deploy assets and patrols into identified problem areas, safety first. More to the point, as I've said before, speed and traffic crashes continue to be a problem in our community. Please pay attention to the posted speed limits on our town roads and please drive safely. Speed complaints represent some of the most common quality of life issues we receive at the PD. Please be courteous of your friends and neighbors and don't speed. We will be monitoring our roads very carefully, especially our high traffic roads such as North to South Main Streets, Center Street, and 109 East. If you speed, please slow down. The life you save may be your own. That being said, the department is continuing its enhanced speed enforcement operations in the following areas: Lana Street, Forest Road, Cotton Valley, College Road, Started Road, Beach Pond Road, with a focus on the area between Pine Hill Road and North Line Road, Center Street, North Main Street, 109 East, Bay Street, Sewell Road. The reason for these speed enforcement operations is due to citizen complaints and data collected and analyzed by our radar trailer. We will continue our efforts in these areas until we are sure that the speeds have come down. If you travel these roads, please be mindful of the posted speed limits. So I've said it 3 times in this, right? Please be mindful of the posted speed limits. Those who are regulars at this meeting will notice that the list of roads that we're receiving complaints on is growing steadily every month, and not a lot of roads are falling off this list. And I just want to bring that to everybody's attention that we're having some serious problems out there, and I need everybody to cooperate. Okay, thank you very much. We want to continue to be educational and not punitive in how we address speeding enforcement. So the punitive action here would be tickets, and I don't necessarily want to have to start issuing scores and scores of tickets. That can become counterproductive after a fashion. Outreach and matters of interest. Both the captain and I met with concerned citizens regarding a wide range of issues and community involvement topics. I am now conducting a weekly radio talk show with Eric Scott of WASR. The show is a 1-hour feature with call-in, and we'll discuss relevant and topics of interest to the community. Our guest on this show each Monday at 12 noon. Please call in and ask your questions and join in discussions. Let's get involved and solve community issues or simply have a good time. All are welcome. Both the captain and I attend a wide range of budget meetings with various groups and committees as we proceed through the budget process. Both the captain and I spoke on Wolfeboro Community TV this past month and with a member about topics of interest. The captain and I continue to attend all the boss meetings. The captain continues to be part of the master planning process, the technical review, and joint loss committees. Lastly, please be our guest on Coffee and Connections with the Chief. Gentlemen, under budget analysis, the next PD analysis will be in October for the 3rd quarter of the town's fiscal year. I will continue to keep the commission informed of any major muscle moves relative to the PD's budget. In the meantime, that's the 2020 yes, the 2020 budget. When we've started construction on the PD's fiscal year 2021 budget, and all is moving well. We have a 28 August suspense to the town manager. That's tomorrow. Once the FY 2021 budget has been finalized and I have an 85% solution, I will call for a meeting of our members of the budget committee, our boss LNO, Dave Senecal, and the commission to go over and discuss the finer points of that budget. That meeting is yet to be scheduled, and I'm actually thinking of doing it on 2 September at 10 a.m. at the Wolfeboro PD conference room. If you gentlemen, Mr. Wood and Mr. O'Brien, if you gentlemen can make that, I know Dave Senecal has it on his calendar right now. I'll reach out and coordinate with Tom Bell and Matt Blatch and Bob Lohman. We'll have light refreshments there, and we'll sit down and we'll get dirty in the budget. And that way, at least we have a product that I think will be close to 90% or more that I would feel comfortable moving forward with to the town manager and then to the Board of Selectmen. So please, if you gentlemen could put that on your calendar, or let me know if that date doesn't work, and then we'll try to figure something else.
What time on the 2nd?
10 a.m., sir.
I have a conflict, but if Bob's going to be there, I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
I'll be there. I'm
All right.
good.
Joe,
Already on my calendar.
go working or not, but if you can make it, you're more than welcome.
I'll put it in. I should be available by say 10:30.
I can spin you up, or Bob can spin you up on the budget, Steve, at that point.
Okay. Very
Uh,
good. Now,
That's all I have, subject to your questions.
Commissioner Bryan, so relative to the chief's monthly reports, comments. Bob?
No,
Okay. Commissioner Balboni, any questions or comments relative to the chief's reports?
Hold on, that was September 2nd at 10 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm good.
I'm just going to put it in here too. Okay. So, I think
And coconut. Oh, premium stuff.
Chief Rondo, I believe you're looking for a vote of the commission for our regard to the CIP for the console.
Sounds.
Yes, sir, I am. I'm going to need that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. As you gentlemen know, I presented the CIP for the dispatch console at $154,000. What that does is it replaces $52,000 that was cut last year from the dispatch console CIP, reduced it from $102,000 to $50,000. I presented the CIP presentation to the CIP committee. It was moved to accept almost unanimously at that amount. But I do know that they're looking for some official directive from the Police Commission authorizing me to speak to that and to be authorized to make that recommendation for the CIP console. So if that's something you gentlemen could vote on, I will make sure it's in the minutes, and then we will get it over to Matt Sullivan to present to the CIP committee. And I agree with that. They have to do certain things to ensure that they're doing their due diligence, and this is one of them. And I totally understand why they need this. It seems like it's just a paperwork drill, but it is actually pretty important for them, and I agree with it.
Okay, so at this time, I am looking for a motion by the commission to, number one, to approve the CIP request for the dispatch console for fiscal year 2021, and furthermore, to authorize Chief Rondo and/or Captain Libby to present that on our behalf to the CIP committee.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Balboni, seconded by Commissioner O'Brien. I will poll the commission. Commissioner Balboni,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien,
yes.
and Commissioner Wood is also a yes. Sherry, so if you're all set with that,
Yep. Yes, I have it. Thank you.
you. Okay, Selectman Senical, any words of wisdom, sir, or any comments, concerns from your side?
Not right now. It sounds like your budget's in order. You said 1.5% under your the recommended percentage of spending. And I will definitely be at that meeting on the 2nd to help you out with that information as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I will tell you that we had to go through an awful lot of painful restrictions and constrictions on the budget to make sure that we could stay at the close to the bottom line. So I do appreciate you saying that, but it was a lot of teamwork to get us there.
Okay. Before I entertain the Cotton Valley Rail Trail Committee, if there's anybody else online from the general public that had any comments or concerns, please let us know. Hearing none, I'll move forward with the Cotton Rail Trail Committee's request to be heard at this meeting. And I will let the committee know that we typically allow 5 minutes per speaker for a total of about 15. I'm not opposed to going a little bit longer if necessary, if we're having a good conversation, discourse, etc. Who would like to speak on behalf of the Rail Trail Committee at this time?
Hi, I'm Noreen McDonald. I'm the co-chair with Paul Damaris. And we're both here online. And as stated in our letter, July 29th to the commission, the committee's requesting your assistance in resolving a couple issues regarding dog owners and bicyclists on the trail. Since our letter to the commission, the New Hampshire Trails Bureau has authorized us to post some signs. Don't know if you can see that, which is referring to the New Hampshire RSAs regarding bicycles, stop signs, and also yielding to pedestrians on the trail. Since posting those signs a couple of weeks ago, many have been defaced and also removed and just taken off our kiosks and everything. Most recently, in the last 2 weeks, many stop signs are now disappearing and have been removed. We found several in the bushes, but many have also totally disappeared off the trail. We are replacing those as fast as we can. The concern is the danger to outer town bicyclists getting hit by vehicles, especially along the section on the Lake Wentworth from like that's all starting, Moose Point Road, Hershey Point Road, all the small roads that have crossings, but those signs are disappearing. And that's definitely a concern for us. As we state in the letter, we're totally volunteers. We've created a great economic benefit for Wolfeboro, but a few people, as always the case, are creating undesirable issues for the many other trail users. And we would appreciate any and all assistance you can provide with us, with the police department, the animal control officer, and maintaining a safe environment for all visitors and residents that are using the trail. I think I'm under my 5 minutes.
No, and that's fine. I appreciate your comments. I'm just looking over the letter that you had sent. Have you seen any change, positive or negative, with regard to the dog issues?
No.
I use the trail frequently for both biking and walking. I will concur that there are various types of people with their dogs. Some obviously have them leashed, some have them unleashed. The other thing is about dog waste and handled or mishandled, I should say. That is disturbing. I would have to defer to Chief Rondo in terms of resources. It's up to it's the chief, within the chief's purview to try to distribute resources. I say resources, I'm talking manpower specifically. But just for you folks and as well as the public, and I know we discussed this at our last meeting, we were in a position, if you will, this year that was not created by us, and this is above and beyond or separate from the COVID-19 issues that we face. But at the very beginning of the budget process for this year, a rather large sum of money was removed from our budget and was really necessary. And actually, we don't believe it was necessary at all, and it shouldn't have been done, or we wouldn't be having this discussion. And then some may remember Article 14 that everybody voted on to retirement buyout with personnel from the town. When they're retired, they have unexpended leave time when the town can buy out, the people can retire, and so forth. That was approved overwhelmingly by the town. When we went to attempt to get some of those funds, we were told that wasn't going to be funded until the end of the year, which was something we were not aware of when it was presented and when the vote was taken. Because of that, we took another substantial budget, and we had two options hire, we had a plan in place that had not been formalized, but we did have a plan in place to try to bring back these 2 officers, which would have put an officer on a bike, both downtown and on the path. Because of our budget situation, we were unable to bring either of those people back, which is kind of may have lent to our inability, if you will, to address this sooner. And
Yeah.
we're also down 1 full-time person right now, which we hope to have filled before the end of the year, all within budget and so forth, so that we don't overexpend. With all that being said, I mean, we are very cognizant and listening to your concerns. We obviously want to assist in any way that we can. At this time, I'd like to defer to Chief with regard to resources and the ability to try to assist, although we do know our resources are somewhat limited. Chief?
Thank you, sir, Mr. Chairman. So what the chairman has said is essentially correct. We took quite a hit at the beginning of the year, and then that was exacerbated later on with another budgetary constraint that really amounted to about $44,500 that was of funding that was now unavailable to the Wolfeboro Police Department. We have a plan to put a mountain bike officer on the path, which we've done in years past. We're actually looking forward to getting some pretty good coverage this year with that very experienced officer, and of course that had to be curtailed because we simply did not have the funding. With that being said, I have authorized the use of overtime funds to put extra patrols on to focus on some of the motor vehicle and bike complaints that you've identified in your letter. I've read the letter. I've actually been on the trail quite a few times since your letter has come in. So, and yes, I can substantiate some of your complaints. I've seen them myself with my own eyes. So I know a need exists there. We can't address all of your problems. I simply don't have the resources for that at present. But we will do the very best that we can. And I have authorized, again, overtime for extra patrols to address some of the issues and concerns that you're having. On Captain, do you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I don't have too much to add other than what Commissioner Wood said as personnel. Officer Shanks is still an FTO, which he's got 7 more weeks left, which means that's another officer that's not on patrol by himself. We have another officer that's going to the academy on August 31st. So that makes 2, and we still are down an officer. In our police force right now, we're down 3 officers. So that's another challenge we're faced right now. The personnel are hired, but again, academy and what Chief Rondo has mentioned before, it takes about 32, 34 weeks for them to come out on their own. So the overtime will help a lot. It won't address every issue that you're trying to solve, but right now that's the best we have. I wish we had more.
I will address this issue in our budget for 2021. And we'll look to get a mountain bike officer on the path next year. That would alleviate, I think, a lot of the issues that you're realizing down there if that was actively patrolled. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your questions, and perhaps I can help address those.
Yeah, so I got one more, Chief. I know you mentioned the animal control. Our animal control officer is not designed for patrols. He's actually designed for when a call comes in, depending on what the animal is that needs to be addressed. That's when he gets called out, depending on where he is in his normal day of his job. But that's when he comes out. He really isn't a patrol animal control. So just wanted to get that out there so I understand that position.
So I guess my biggest concern on the dog problem is probably the biggest issue is between downtown Wolfeboro and to Mass Landing, where the dogs are off lead, jumping on people, things like that. and I get a few people have called in for the animal control officer, given their names, but they have not heard back from him. But it's also, they're on the trail, they're calling in. If he's not available, it's not gonna connect.
Yeah.
My thought is, it's a small town. If we gave out a couple of tickets for the dogs, either off lead or, leaving their poop bags along the trail, I think the word would spread pretty quickly. Kind of like when you show up on College Road, everyone's going to slow down while you're out there. I think we need something in that. Since I live out in that way, I appreciate the warning. But I'm looking at that kind of as, how do we kind of just even kind of make people aware that there is some consequences? And then the same with the bicyclist. I had a woman 2 weeks ago. I was walking with 3 people and my dog, and we were between the tracks, between the rails. She came up and her wheel is actually between the 2 of us and never said a word. I grabbed her handlebar and said, "You need to stop your vehicle, your bike right now." She says, "No, I don't have to stop. I'm going through." And I was like, unbelievable. I mean, she would have run 2 more, my dog and the other person over. It was just absolutely amazing. And then also our district officer for the whole Trails Bureau came so close to being hit. He was so upset, he actually called your department. And the guy would not stop, absolutely not stop. He said he really came close to really taking some serious injuries. So, so any help that you can help us with, this year, next year. And I know it's grown so much because of COVID. It's the only thing that was open. The parks weren't open. It's been awesome. I live close on the trail. It's so awesome to see the families out there with their kids, the folks pulling the kids on their bikes, grandparents, everybody's been out there. I would say, it's probably 4 times what we usually have. And that's probably making it a little bit more challenging as well. So, Paul, do you want to say something?
Well, especially on the causeways is where the biggest problem is with both dogs and bikes. Off the causeways, the trail is quite a lot wider, and until you get to the beach, it's pretty bad. After that, it's pretty good because it's much wider and there's not very much between the rails. It's mostly across the causeways where most of the problems are occurring.
And I'll add to it that where the rails are after Cotton Valley or in the Cotton Valley area, down between Cotton Valley and Cotton Mountain. We're having some issues. So.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
I will let you know
Chief.
that I have been on foot patrolling that myself, in specifically that area that from Albee Beach to the railroad station and back again. I will keep doing that. I'm out there myself patrolling that. We'll keep that up, and I do understand what you're saying, is I have seen it myself. So perhaps with some education and some insights, we can gain compliance from the public, and then we will do the best job we can getting some extra patrols down there and trying to get a handle on this problem.
Yeah, just your presence out there would make a big difference because the word would get around that you've been out there patrolling and walking.
I am
Careful, yeah.
And I want to let you know that I've been out there 3 times now, and I will keep it up.
Wear your elbow pad so when they knock you over, you're safe.
Over.
It's not gonna knock him over.
Chief, just a quick question.
Definitely see some presence, as the chief has mentioned, with the overtime that he's getting out there with the staff, with our patrol officers. So you'll see some presence very similar to what you're talking about College Road, and we're hoping to maybe, if they see us out there, exactly what you mentioned, and stop the behavior, really.
Terrific. Thank you so much. That's all we just wanted, just a little bit of, hey, you're not free to do whatever you want out there. So
I would agree with that, ma'am, and just do the best job you can with supporting our budget for next year, and
absolutely.
No problem there.
I'll have a mountain bike. I have 4 mountain bikes at the B, and I do have mountain bike officers that have been through the mountain bike police course and are certified in that vehicle in the use of the mountain bike. So I I will get them out there, but unfortunately, we had plans to do it this year, but unfortunately, we took some budget.
Just a FYI, we have our meeting tonight down at the pavilion, but we have just purchased vests that say Cotton Valley Trail in the front and Cotton Valley Rail Trail volunteer on the back. And hopefully with some of us wearing those, people will kind of be aware that somebody's out there.
Well, keep the line of communication between your group and my police department open. Call us anytime. I'm pledging my support to you. We want to make sure this area is safe. I want to make sure everybody can enjoy it. I think a lot of people will come into compliance once they understand that they can't leave their trash out there like they have been, and that they just have to be courteous and kind and share the rail trail with the pedestrians as well as the bicyclists. I think we'll be okay. There are always going to be a few scofflaws out there, but we'll rein them in.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
This year, and I'm sorry, Bob.
No, I
There's
was
been
just gonna ask.
very much issue. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner O'Brien, go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask as a point of information. Have you contacted the Nordic Bike Shop and asked for their awareness and assistance in notifying riders of careful manners out on the road?
They do in the brochures that we have. They have a copy of, so they have some of our brochures that they hand out when they have people that are sure going to go out there on the trail. And it says in the brochure to be really careful about passing people and what have you. The stuff is in that trail, in that program, but I don't know if they're going to read it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good point. We can talk to Nordic Skier about doing a verbal warning. So
Yeah, just
yes.
as to give some, voluntary assistance in advising people of the problem and asking for, compliance.
Super. We will do that.
I just hope that we don't end up with a situation like they're having in other parts of the state with regard to hiking trails and other types of recreational facilities where people are just totally leaving everything.
We've been very, very lucky. We hardly have any trash. More now than, but it's still absolutely minor. The worst part is the ones that pick up their dog poop and leave it in a bag on the side of the trail. But otherwise it's been pretty decent with trash issues. Knock on wood, but we have restrooms at every couple of miles, and we're trying to make it as accommodating as we possibly can and easy to use. So we're doing the best we can from our end. So keep our fingers crossed that this will just settle things down pretty quickly.
And since the introduction, excuse me.
I'm just going to reiterate,
Go ahead.
we are hopeful that you'll remain in communication with us and reach out as you need to, or with any questions, concerns, or requests, what have you.
Terrific. Will do.
Can I make one more comment?
Please do, Paul.
Since the introduction of the e-bikes, they go much faster, and that's much more of a problem, especially across the causeways. They don't slow down very much. They just want to bomb by, and that's bad because they go up to 20 miles an hour, and that's dangerous on the trail at any time, not just when it's busy.
Yeah, I saw. Actually, I was kind of surprised because I know I have bikes, and I'm more into a pedal bike. I prefer the exercise.
Yes.
I have ridden one. I have a friend that has one. I have ridden one. They are pretty zippy. One has to be posted that type of vehicles not allowed on the path if they become a common problem.
Yeah, type 2 is not allowed on the path. Yeah, there's a type 3, I guess it is not allowed on the path because they're actually. Driving those. Go ahead.
I was speaking to the Trails Bureau Chief today, Chief Kamarsh, and what they're looking at is probably on the Cotton Valley Rail Trail and the Franconia Notch Trail and maybe a couple others, because of the narrowness, that it will only be class 1 e-bikes that will be allowed. Class 2 and class 3 will not be allowed, but until there's some action taken with some committee meetings, et cetera, at the state, that is not going to happen for a bit, unfortunately. But class 3 is not allowed, absolutely not allowed. So,
And enforcement is always going to be an issue.
Yeah.
yes.
Well, folks, I thank you very much for reaching out and for joining us today. And again, please reach out anytime that you should feel the need.
Will do, and thank you for taking the time to
Thank
meet with
you,
us.
yes.
We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, have a great week. The rest of the week. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, folks.
Looking at my screen, I see a gentleman in a green with glasses. Yes, you. Do you have any business that you'd like to talk to the commission about, sir? Gentleman in a green fleece glasses. Do you have any business with us that you'd like to discuss or questions or just observing?
I'm still waiting. I'm good.
Okay. If we have no further business at this time, then I'm going to entertain a non-public, motion to enter public session under RSA 91-:3. Do I have a movement on that?
I move that we go to non-public session.
Okay.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner O'Brien, a second by Commissioner Balboni. I will poll the commission. Commissioner O'Brien,
Yes.
Commissioner Balboni,
Yes.
and Commissioner Wood also a yes. We will stand in recess while we log off and log back on in the non-public link. Thank you, Dave.